When you die, do you think of
Thank you, Gemma and Josh. I'd like to invite Sheree, Dr. Sheree Trotter to speak.
Useful idiot for Hamas.
Useful idiots, right? Yeah, reading from Hamas.
E honore he kuroria ki te atua, he mangarongo ki te whenua, he whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa, e ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā kārangataha maha e hui hui mai nei. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Over the past few weeks, we have joined with the Israel and Jewish people in a roller coaster of emotion as hostages held for over 15 months have been released in highly choreographed, staged affairs. We have rejoiced over the captives set free and grieved with them as they faced the reality of their loved ones lost. Today we think of the Bibas family and mourn for the loss of 10-month-old Kafir, 4-year-old Ariel and their mother Sheree. We send our aroha, our love and words of support to Sheree's husband, Yarden. How can we forget the image of this young mother clutching her babies to her breast, torn away from her husband and her home, her safe place? We saw the face of innocence in 10-month-old Kafir and 4-year-old Ariel. We saw the face of vulnerability and fear in Sheree as she protected her boys with all that she had, her loving arms and a protective heart. We saw the face of evil in those who violently seized her, tearing her away from her family to an unimaginable fate in Gaza. For months we hoped and prayed that this family would be released along with all the other 250 plus hostages. But as the months passed, hope faded as we became more aware of the bestial brutality of Hamas terrorists and their accomplices. As reports came to light of rape, torture, beheadings, the burning and mutilation of bodies, of the use of hospitals and schools in Gaza as bases of operation, and the hiding behind human shields. And in recent weeks, as hostages have been released, we've witnessed the grotesque ceremonies, the pantomime, the celebration over the coffins of the dead. What disturbed us more than the evil of Hamas was the reaction of the Western world, the propensity to look away, to turn a blind eye, to make excuses, to justify these atrocities. We've seen months of moral inversion, Israel falsely accused of genocide when it was Hamas that committed genocide on 7th of October, an intentional act of war to eliminate a group of people with a commitment to repeat it again and again and again. The false accusation of famine when it was Hamas commandeering the many tons of food supplied by Israel, starving the hostages, abusing and torturing them, and preventing medical assistance. The false accusation of targeting women and children when it was Hamas that murdered babies, children, women, Holocaust survivors, 10-month-old Kafir, 4-year-old Ariel Bibas, strangled to death and their bodies mutilated to propagate the lie that they had been killed in an Israeli strike. And what of Sheree? The forensics team confirmed she did not die in an Israeli airstrike. The forensic scientists stated, quote, "We were met with depths of evil and malice that could not be conceived," end quote. The tragedy that befell the Bibas family has brought into sharp relief the difference between those who cherish life and protect the vulnerable and those who glorify death and sacrifice their own children on the altar of Jew hatred. Where we stand as a society on these issues is a litmus test for decency and humanity. Will the world continue to shield and protect terrorists or stand with a nation that values life? And yet, amidst the terror and trauma of the past 16 months, there have been glimmers of light and hope. We witnessed last week one of the remarkable strengths of Israeli society as people poured out into the streets to farewell the Bibas boys and their mother. We saw the power of unity and love. We saw the people of Israel as one vast, extended family. Ben Gurion stated, "To be a realist in Israel, you must believe in miracles." We just heard the testimony of Ali Sharabi, who came home after 491 days in Hamas captivity. He stated that he was aware there was something watching over him in the tunnels, and though not a religious man, he would say the Shema prayer every day. The remarkable young woman, Agam Burja, who was released after 482 days, stated, "I chose the path of faith, and with the path of faith I have returned." Says in the Tehillim, "He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." That doesn't mean there won't be war and death, pain and suffering, but we know that Israel will survive as she has for more than 3.5 millennia. The Jewish people have a miraculous history, a heritage, and a moral code that has stood the test of time. Her enemies, among them great empires, have come and gone, and yet the people of Israel are still here. They will continue. The people of Israel live. Am Israel High!